So if you come across a SmallRig Mini Matte Box and you're wondering like, should I get it as a good one? The answer is yes. Go ahead and check out, like don't waste any more time. You probably already did enough research to know that you should get one. But if you want to know my experience with it, the overall build quality and some thoughts, as well as some things to avoid, then stick around because that's what I'm going to be talking about in this video. Now, does the matte box actually improve your shooting? Yes and no. Now there are some cases where there's nothing you can do to block out the light. But in those scenarios where the light is at that angle where you're able to tilt this matte box down to block out any unwanted light, that absolutely makes a difference. I did a couple of test shots here to show you some without the matte box and with the matte box. And all I simply did was lift it up and down to show what it would look like if I didn't have it on and what it looks like when I have it on. And it's actually pretty impressive how much light it blocks out to give you that full contrast, and it avoids having that washed out look that you typically get if you have nothing at all blocking out the light. Let's talk about the build quality. It feels pretty solid. It said it's made from carbon fiber, which you can tell here from the carbon fiber distinct look. And I really do enjoy the build quality of it. It does feel a little bit cheap, but I'm okay with that because it is very light. And light is great when you're somebody who's already got a pretty heavy handheld rig. It's nice to have something that's going to be functioning and not add a ton of weight to it. Another benefit for this particular one is that it does adapt right onto the front of your lens. Typically, if you have a matte box, you're going to be putting that on rails, and it comes with a couple of step-up rings to ensure that it fits all your different lenses. In addition to the build quality, right on the top here, you have this simple little turn and tighten pin. And I like it because when I'm traveling, I feel like I can protect my lens a little bit better. And I try to leave my rig together. Now, if you're somebody who typically takes their setup completely apart and puts it back together the day of shoots, it is one more thing to add on there. It's not necessarily like a huge step, but if you're building a big rig, like it starts to add up. Another great thing is you now have the ability to insert those 4x6 ND filters, and I personally opt for the screw-on filters. You can actually screw your ND filters right on the matte box itself. Now, if you're somebody like me who has a variable ND filter, it does take a little bit of adjustment. Just thinking like before, I could just turn this pretty simply and adjust it. Now I kind of have to guide my finger to the right spot. And not saying that it's a downside, it's just something that you kind of have to relearn, especially if you've been shooting like myself for a long time without any matte box at all. So lightweight, gets the job done. The SmallRig Matte Box really is one of those things that once you have, you really do enjoy it. Now there are a couple of cons that I found. So the first con can be price. It is about 65 bucks, which isn't too crazy, but for $65, there are other things that I might recommend getting before, especially if you don't already have like variable ND filters, a microphone. It's not the first thing on the list when it comes to creating your setup. Now, is this a must-have? Well, yes and no. If you're somebody who's been building out their rig and it's kind of that last step, or you're kind of on a budget trying to get a matte box, I 100% recommend this one. Go ahead and get it, you're gonna love it. But if you're somebody who's just starting off and you're kind of building out a rig slowly and budget is a concern for you, I would opt for a variable ND filter and start there, and just try to use lighting and composure and blocking light in different ways that you would typically use this for. That's all I have for you today. If you're somebody who shoots videos often and you're looking at other SmallRig products, chances are I have a review on it. You can check it out here. Other than that, see you in the next one. Peace.